Game on.
Okay, 1.
Number 1, quick review number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to make sure
right.
we're right.
Pi
Wait, can I see
over
if I'm right?
3. What is that in?
You multiply radians.
Radians.
So you multiply by
You want the
180
pi to
over
go
pi.
over 180 over pi, so it's going to be 60 degrees.
That's like-
Two.
That's on our chart
Negative
too.
2.5. That's in radians.
Oh,
So you multiply by 180 over pi.
Multiply by 180 over pi, and you're going to get 360 times plus 90.
Wait, how? Can
450.
you explain?
So
You're multiplying
only
negative 2.5 times 180?
Yeah.
How'd you get a positive number?
I didn't.
it
Oh.
doesn't make sense.
What, Heidi?
No, I answered my question.
Good.
Is our test gonna look like this?
Absolutely not. This is ridiculously easy. 3. Negative 40 degrees.
No
What are you going to multiply by?
Pi over
Pi over 180. So you're going to get negative 40 pi over 180, which
Which
is
is
going to
negative
reduce
0.22.
to negative 2 pi over 9.
You have to keep it.
What if we just leave it as 140 pi over 180?
No, reduce it. It's just reducing a fraction.
Why? Because 40 can go into 180 two
I
times.
dropped the zeros and then I had 4/18, which is 2/9.
Okay.
Next we have number 10.
45.
Anyone do number 10?
No, you
skipped
skipped
one.
on 4.
What's number 4?
I did do number
Is
4.
Oh,
it
number 4.
pi?
I saw
I
that.
didn't know how to do 10.
I saw that 4 and I thought we were done. Oh, 45 degrees, really?
Pi over 4?
5 or 4, yeah.
I like those.
I'm really stupid.
I like doing it when it gives you the and then you look on your chart.
It's pi over 4.
Okay, but you're not going to have your chart.
I know, but I'm
it's in
saying.
your brain. I'll tell you how to memorize it today. Number 10. Anyone do number 10? I'll be really happy with this. Come on,
I
please.
put help on it.
Somebody.
X is last
Put
letter equal to
it.
I didn't know
zero.
what to do.
What?
I put X as last letter equal to 0.
At least you have a legitimate answer. I don't even, like, at least that's an answer that makes sense. I like
The
it.
freaking question was so
And it's
confusing.
correct, too.
Yay! I'm done.
Give one way to restrict the domain of the function. I was just like, I wonder if they'll even just read that and know what they're
No.
asking.
But
I
it took me
didn't.
a while, right? Like a good 10
Well, I knew what it was asking, but I was just like,
I grabbed him like
Well, if you knew what it's asking, it's easy. How do you restrict the domain of that so that the resulting function is 1 to 1?
Which is what?
What's 1 to 1?
Vertical.
it passes the horizontal.
Horizontal line test. Well, what would the graph of this look like?
It's crap.
Well, as of right now,
It
it's
should be
parabola.
it's like a skinny parabola that's shifted down too, right?
Yeah.
So it's saying, how can you restrict the domain? What's restrict the domain mean?
Make it
So it only goes from
Only look at certain sections of the x-axis, right? The domain is the x-axis, restrict it. Like, remember like piecewise functions? Those are restricted
Did you
domains.
say X is
So we're only gonna look
greater
at
than or
certain
equal to
sections.
0?
That's a perfectly good answer. X is greater than or equal to 0. Then you would only be looking at that, and now it's 1 to 1. Jeanette said X is less than or equal to 0. That's a perfectly good answer, because then you'd only be looking at that, and now it's 1
Those
to
are
1.
the only two answers though, right? 'Cause
Those
you
are
got-
the only, or you could say X.
No?
Actually, you could say anything.
yeah.
Anything, X,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
anything over here, you could say X is greater than 1, X is greater than 2, anything above 0, like, it would still work.
That's retarded.
You could say X is greater than 1,000,000, that would still work. It's still going to be more than 1. You can't say X is greater than -2, though, because then you're going to have that little loopy chunk in there. Know what I'm saying?
This is the next number 10.
Yeah.
It's the next number 10 that sucks.
I don't understand.
Find all the trigonometric values of theta, so it's asking for the sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant,
Yeah,
secant,
got
and
that.
cotangent, with the given conditions. Oops, wrong number. The tangent of theta equals -1, and the sine of theta is less than 0. You're going to have to draw a picture.
I don't know.
Did you do it?
Tangent's opposite over adjacent, correct?
Yes.
So I know my picture is not going to look like this, because if I divide this number by this number, I will get a positive answer, correct?
I got it flipped over.
Yeah, I got it.
Why?
Here's theta, I know here's like my unit circle action. It's not gonna be in the first quadrant because any of my tangents in the first quadrant will all be positive. Because this number my x divided by my y, all through here, won't they all be positive?
Yeah.
My answer needs to be negative. So this isn't gonna work. So then I try, well, let's just go down here. What if I'm like this?
No, because
Hold on. I know you get it.
we can't even see it.
What if I go down here? Here's theta. Let's say that this is negative y. My x is still positive, right?
Yes.
My opposite over adjacent will be negative. So far we're so good. This could be it. But this tells me my sign has to be negative also. Is my sign negative here?
Yeah.
Is the sign opposite over hypotenuse?
Oh, wait.
Negative, yeah.
It is.
It is negative, so we're good. We're good to go here.
I
How-
hate those alligator
How
ones.
can I make it equal negative 1? Well, wouldn't each side just be 1? Is it 1 divided by 1, 1?
Yeah,
So isn't x is 1 and y will be
1.
negative?
Oh, no.
So here's my triangle. This side's 1, this is negative 1. Now I just gotta figure out the rest.
Isn't it one?
If this is 1 and this is 1, how long's this side?
1,
No, wait.
2.
1 and 2.
Square root of 2. Pythagorean theorem, 1 squared plus 1 squared equals c squared. Right, so you get 1 plus 1, 2 equals c squared, c equals the square root of 2. Or if you learn special right triangles, what kind of triangles is this? What are these angles?
45.
45, 45, 90? Yeah. Whatever this side is, those sides will be the same, and then you take
It is
this
well
side
done.
times the square root of 2, and you get the hypotenuse. So here we go. Now it's easier, right? Now we're done, basically. Yeah, now. Sine of theta is going to equal, here's my theta, opposite over hypotenuse, so negative 1 over root 2.
It's the picture that's confusing.
Oh, you didn't know how to get the picture?
Yeah. If I had the picture, then I would have
Okay, here's the 2, 2.
We can't have a square root on the bottom for a fraction.
Okay.
Want to go back to the picture?
Mhm.
Okay. Which part?
No.
From the beginning?
Yeah, just start all over.
I'm just trying to figure out what angle I have, basically. I'm trying to figure out, I may not know the exact angle of theta, but I'm just trying to figure out which quadrant my angle is in on the unit circle. I started with quadrant 1. And if I had an angle in quadrant 1, I don't know how long each side of my triangle is, but it doesn't matter. I know that this number is positive and this number is positive. So when I find the tangent, when I do opposite over adjacent, my answer will be positive. That's how I knew this wouldn't work. So then I just picked a different, I didn't know the answer. I just picked randomly down here. You could pick a different one. Let's say you picked over here next. Logical, go quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Will this work? My x value will be negative, my y value will be positive. Makes sense? So when I do my tangent, I'll have opposite over adjacent. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. It works, right? So far, this is a very logical, this could be my answer. But the second part of it was, they gave the condition that, where is it?
Sine.
The sine of theta has to be less than 0.
Which means what?
which means opposite over a hypotenuse has to be negative.
Opposite.
If I go opposite over hypotenuse,
It's not,
those are both positive,
Okay.
it doesn't work.
um,
So that can't be it. And you can go around, you can try them all, and the only one that satisfies both of these will be down here, where my tangent was negative and my sine is negative. No? You say, wait, what? You gotta speak up, like, you can't be nervous about questions here.
Yeah, I feel.
If you don't understand, it's hard to move on if you miss a little tiny piece. Right now, this is gonna be all Greek to you. You're gonna have some YouTube to watch. You're gonna-
Hey, do you have notes from last week?
I have the video still on there, and I'm gonna upload it today. I'll upload Fridays and today.
Has to be less than 0.
So what about Thursday?
And you can just show
Friday, get Friday, if you can do Friday, just watch the video Friday and
Yeah,
then
no,
just
third.
put it together with this, it'll all make sense.
I know one of the days we
give us
chilled.
this, and then we just.
Wednesday, yeah,
Wednesday.
Wednesday we just talked about the baby, and then Thursday we did like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Thursday's suck.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do. He kept restarting our lesson, so we were just sitting here like,
I kept like starting and they're like, so I back up and then, so I back up more and then, and I was like, crap.
He's like, I don't know where to start.
I was like, guess we'll just have to start at the beginning. So now do you understand how we got this picture?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Now I lost my.
Could I probably do it again? No.
Thank you. That's how I feel.
Well, maybe you'll have to tonight. So we know the tangent of theta is -1. So we know, right? Because here I'll have a positive x value, but I'll have a negative y value.
I have a negative hypotenuse. No.
So opposite
No, you won't. It's always positive.
over adjacent will be negative. So I'll have negative divided by positive.
why I was tripping
And the
out.
sine of theta.
It's positive.
Yeah.
Remember, this is just direction. You can't have a negative distance anywhere. It just means I went down.
So hypotenuse is always positive, right?
Yeah. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's negative divided by a
Which
positive.
is a negative.
So that'll be a negative, which is what I wanted. So that's how I got this picture. Now, I was trying to give values to the sides to where my tangent of theta equaled -1. And I thought, hey,
And one of the
1 divided by 1 is 1. That's the easiest way to go. And that's what the unit circle is, so I might as well use that. Well, I guess, okay, never mind. That's the easiest way to go for this problem. So I said, hey, this is 1, this is -1,
Would you look at that?
which now I can find my hypotenuse, which we just did, square root of 2, right? Pythagorean theorem, 1 squared plus 1 squared equals c squared. That's where we got all that. So now we got that as the square root of 2. Now I have a triangle here that satisfies all of the conditions. So now I can figure out the actual sine of theta, the actual cosine of theta. I know the tangent of theta because that was given to me.
So if
But
it's
now
like
I-
over something like -1 over 1, and you just want to write -1.
Yeah, that's it. And now I can get the rest of these. So your sine of theta, what's it going to be? -1 over the square root of 2.
Multiply by
Which-
square root of 2.
Yeah, multiply by square root of 2 over square root of 2. We can't have a square root on bottom. And we get negative square root of 2 over 2.
So that when you do the other opposite of that, you're going to do it again.
But it's just not
That's
negative.
what I.
Sine of theta. The sine of theta is just this y value, isn't it? This angle is 7 pi over 4. I know that because the sine of 7 pi over 4 is negative root 2 over 2. You see this part?
Do I get it? No.
Like if I gave you this and said, what angle do you have? If I said the sine of theta equals the negative square root of 2 over 2, can you tell me what the angle is?
No.
Yeah, 7 pi over 4.
It's 7 pi over 4 because that's where this... Didn't we talk about how sine, on the unit circle, if I do the cosine of this angle, I get the x value here?
So we'll do this.
Little review, brief review here.
Why do you always cross out your drawing?
We got an angle. We'll call it theta. And here's that. And I say the cosine of theta is equal to 1/2. Well, what angle would that be? Well, if you're looking at the unit circle, isn't the hypotenuse always 1?
Yes.
Because that's the radius of the circle, right? That big circle there. Radius is always 1. Okay, look at this beautiful drawing.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have crap like this written all over the place. Well, so if my cosine of theta is 1/2, that's adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So this side divided by 1 is equal to 1/2, so isn't this 1/2?
Yeah, we could flip the...
No flipping. 1/2 divided by 1 is 1/2.
Oh.
So my x-coordinate of this point has coordinates, right? Over and up. My x-coordinate of that point is 1/2. Right? That's all that means. So whenever you have the cosine of an angle, it's just the x-coordinate of the point on the unit
So
circle.
what's sine?
The sine,
As y?
this is actually getting in, I think I was going to talk about this today. The sine
Is y?
of that angle is just the y-coordinate of that point.
So what's
So then
tangent?
the tangent is,
The y divided by the x. Remember the first day we took notes?
Oh, yes, okay, this makes sense
The
now.
sine is the y-coordinate, the cosine is the x-coordinate, the tangent is y divided by
Oh,
x.
so duh, if tangent equals -1, it was -1, so the cotangent is 1.
Huh? This is Friday's notes. This is what we did.
It's on that video that you're
You
supposed to
gotta watch the video and take notes. It's like a 30-minute long video.
she's like, give me that too.
I don't even know how to read the circle, FYI. This
It's
is
all
like
there, baby. 31 minutes, pure knowledge.
random.
It's not random, it's very logical.
It is actually.
So, yeah, when you're looking at these, the cosine of 30 degrees is √3/2. The cosine of, or the sine of 30 degrees is a half. Check this
And
out.
the tangent would be
Okay.
1/2 over the.
We're gonna come full circle
third
here.
root of 20.
I'm in degrees on my calculator. If I do the sine of 30 degrees, what should I get?
The third root over 2.
No. Sine.
Oh,
Sine
a
of what?
half. Wow, it's not good.
If I switch it to radians, mode, radians,
Pi over
the
6.
sine of pi over 6 is
1/2.
half. I'm still in radians. The cosine of pi over 6.
Square root of 3 over 2.
It's that crap, which is the square root of 3 divided by 2.
So I have a
Don't you
question.
just love
All those
math?
things you can just plug in the sine, tan, cosine?
Plug in.
Like you use it for all of them?
Use what?
So then,
Hold on.
Sine, cosine, tangent.
Yeah, like to get those,
To get what? Yeah, to get the rest?
yeah.
Yeah, you kind of use one to get the other.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm still trying to
You
figure
just
it
like
out.
pick your
So-
second.
your tangent and your
Does matter.
sine will always be the same on this paper. Like, if you have one, you'll have the other.
What do you mean?
Like right here, these are the negative square root of 2 over 2, and then the other one's positive. Well, that's the same as that, right? Like, how do I explain myself? In this little pair thing here.
The ordered pair here.
Yes. Okay, when you have one, like say that's your cosine, that sine will be the other one.
Yeah.
Like the always.
Cosine is the x value, the sine is the y value. The cosine of this angle is 1/2. The sine is the...
Yeah, so when you have like on here, so say you find the sine, you don't even have to look at the cosine to know what the cosine is if there's a pair.
0.34
Oh, if you have the unit circle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
then,
So-
90 would be 1/2 and the square root of 3 over 2. Right?
Okay, so square root 3.
No,
Easy way to remember which one's which.
find 0.
Here's what I do.
It's 1/2.
Because you're like,
Wait,
crap.
tangent's x over
No.
y.
Me.
Okay, hold on. I'll give you the easy way to remember all this.
16. This is
I hate this.
If you're like, crap, I can't remember if that's the sine or cosine of this.
30.
There's two ways to remember it.
Cosine goes first.
There's the actual math draw picture way,
No.
and there's a, oh hey,
Oh,
that
yeah.
little
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
weird thing that we
And
learned.
then-
Watch
And
this.
then for 45 is the square root of
Here's the
2
weird way.
over 2.
Cos of theta, sine of theta. I can't remember if that's the x coordinate or if that's the y coordinate.
C goes
Well,
first.
guess what? What's that say? Read that right there.
Sin.
Sin. If you sin,
It's
you
an
don't
X.
go to heaven, you go to hell. Alright, look which way I'm pointing. It's up and down. That's y.
Okay, up and down.
Up and down is the y-axis. Your sin determines your y-axis. Your sine of your angle is
Or
the
C
y
goes first, and X
coordinate.
goes first, and S goes last,
Okay,
and Y goes
that's
last.
weird.
That's what you told us on the other one.
The sine of the angle is the y coordinate of that point on the unit circle. And then the cosine, obviously, the other one is the x.
You're the one who told us that she comes first in the alphabet.
That works too. Or you could draw a freaking picture.
No, we don't
And go.
want pictures.
No, yeah, you do. You draw a triangle.
We don't.
Watch. You get this. You draw a triangle. You go, here's my angle. Hypotenuse is always 1, right? Radius of the unit circle is always 1, right? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Sine is opposite. Hey, which way? This is,
Up and down,
that's
Y.
y. Yeah.
Wow.
Left and right is x.
Such a great time watching
I think that's.
21 minutes, that sucks. I'm never gonna miss this class.
All right.
Wait till basketball season. You're gonna miss a few days of this.
So
No,
back
it's
to
fourth period.
this.
I can make it to fourth period. I always
Problem.
miss the first 2 periods.
We've got this drawn. This is not the unit circle, right? Because that would be 1. We're just trying to find the cosine of this angle. Well, if we're doing cosine, that's adjacent over hypotenuse, right?
1 over the square root.
1 over the square root of 2,
So it doesn't work.
which is root 2 over 2. Then you might ask, how do you get the tan?
Well, that divided by that's negative 1.
Yeah, it's,
I already gave us that.
yeah, it already gave us that, but
Or
you
you
do
could
this
just do
divided by
negative 1
this.
over 1.
Remember these? Flip all those.
Yeah, so
What's the cosecant going to be? I would just look at your original one right here. Don't flip that. 'cause then
I
you
was
got-
gonna say, can you flip the original
Flip the
one?
original. It's negative square root of 2.
Oh.
Is the other three true?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
So the other one would be
And then the secant
square root of 2.
is square root of 2.
And then cotangent's 1.
No, because this is standard.
But what if you got like your tangent was,
Still negative 1.
I put negative
I was gonna
1.
say, that's what I was just gonna ask,
Oh.
because if you
It
flip
is
it, it's still over
Hey,
a
do you
negative.
teach us geometry?
Because wouldn't it be 1 over negative 1?
Yes.
There you go. Got it. Right.
Which is the same thing as.
I remembered it now. I remember one time this.
All right, 27, here we go, 9 problems that no one did because you didn't know
The
how.
first one's up.
27, 36?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried looking back on the notes to see what we did and I just couldn't remember.
Oh.
I'm like, wait, what's the answer supposed to be?
No, it's negative, positive,
Is it
and then
something-
negative, 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 and then the second one is negative, positive.
27.
So freaking confused.
The
Yeah,
second one is
positive.
negative. Okay.
These you could use.
I still.
Can use your calculator.
I just
I
don't
swear you only
remember
learned
You have to know how to use it.
the pi
think it
thingies.
Okay.
So the
It
inverse.
says, give the measure of the angle in radians and degrees. Give exact answers whenever possible. Okay, so you might be thinking, what angle? What are they talking about?
Plug that in.
Oh, which was 1/2, which was
30
Didn't you just do that?
degrees.
pi over 6. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like this class.
I don't know what you're saying.
No, you just did in your calculator where you got sine and you got 0.5. Okay, remember you got the.
I would just type in.
That's what I did.
No, watch. Go back in your history.
No,
You flip your hand down.
he did do that.
Is that in radians?
Right.
Because on the, right there, for 30, you leave it
Well, I
like
put my
this.
calculator in
But then when you
degrees.
come over here, you have
Do we
to
want
flip
in degrees or
for
radian?
30.
Yeah, this is weird.
Oh,
I see,
yes.
okay,
Oh,
I
yeah,
see
flip
the,
square half over it.
What are we
What
supposed
is
to
it?
do?
And then this one, this one
Degrees
again.
to radians, like
Oh no,
that.
this one stays the same.
I see the confusion. This is worded
Wait.
weird. It says, give the measure of the
No,
angle in
these two
radians
are the
and
same.
degrees.
These two are opposite.
What is it?
That is an angle.
Half.
Well, you,
Square root 2. It's just negative.
you put your calculator into degrees.
Yeah,
figure
that's
out
what I
the
did.
degree, which is 30, and then.
Yeah.
just convert it by 30 to
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I did.
That's what I
Or
did.
I
she said,
didn't get it.
but I did that one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did the next three, but
It'll
I'm
give
pretty
you
sure they're
30 and
wrong.
then you just need to
So that's pi over
radians.
6.
Oh, no, I'm stupid. I got it now. Do you remember what inverse sine, you gotta remember what inverse sine and inverse cosine.
I don't.
So I'm guessing we totally did it wrong.
The sign of
No, you're right.
It's your calculator wrong.
But you don't know why you did what you did, I
And as long as I got it right, man.
don't. No, that's
No,
not
I
okay.
know.
That's not gonna cut it anymore. You have to know why, exactly why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay, why? Explain, go.
Otherwise, things don't make sense. Remember what inverse sine means?
No.
Remember what
You
sine
moved over
means?
this.
You did.
Say why.
So like, let's say I have a triangle. Here's the
You and your pictures,
two.
man.
It makes sense.
It makes
And I'm like, hey, what's that angle? Well, you would go
The inverse
sine
sine.
of theta equals 2 over 5, right?
Yeah.
And then I take the inverse sine,
And divide it by 2/3.
and I have that, right?
Yeah.
So this means what angle has a sine ratio of 2/5? Sine ratio meaning the ratio of the sides. The ratio of the opposite divided by the hypotenuse will be 2/5. Says which angle has a sine of 2/5. So like this says what angle has a sine of 1/2. Does that make sense? If you just write sine, that means the ratio of this angle's opposite and hypotenuse. This says what angle has this ratio.
So you're like looking backwards.
They're backwards, yeah, they're opposites of each
That
other.
makes a lot more sense.
So this is saying what angle has a sine of 0.5. You could use your unit circle or you can use your calculator. If you use your calculator,
Wait, are we doing radians or?
it doesn't matter. If I use my calculator, oh, I get that. If I get an ugly number in radians, well, you should just use your units. It says use exact answers when possible. You know 0.5 is 1/2. So if I said which angle has a sine of 1/2, what are you going to tell me? Where do you see a
Pi
sine?
over 6 or 30 degrees.
Yeah, don't you see right? Sine of 1/2 means the y coordinate of that point is 1/2. Right here. Isn't the sine of this angle 1/2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there another one?
150.
Right here. The sine of this angle is 1/2. So we have two possible answers here. We have pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6.
Did I get 30 on my calculator because it was in degrees, not radians?
Yes. Which is 30 degrees or 150. And your calculator won't give you the second answer. I'm assuming in the back they give you both answers.
No, it just says pi over 6 or 30 degrees.
They didn't ask for multiple
Is there any other
answers.
restrictions?
Why'd you put 70 degrees?
It's 30.
That's a 3.
What the?
Yeah.
So 28, I'm sure you can do. Here, we're going to do this. Since no one did these, I'm going to make a list of like tonight's homework that we sucked at last night and didn't do.
Wait, so you only, what do you, we do it in both?
We had 28. I'll help you with 29. I think there should be two answers. Because it just says, give the measure of the angle and radians in degrees.
Why do you think there should be two answers?
There is two
Because the
answers.
sine could be 1/2 in two different positions. You could have 30 degrees or 150 degrees. Both of them have a sine of 1/2.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So
But-
why they only gave you one answer?
But if you did it in your calculator, when you only get one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's probably why.
Well, that's why it
it's
says
easier
give
to
exact
calculate.
answers. Like, be awesome. Don't just be.
I'll just be mediocre for right now.
Ooh, this looks like fun.
Great. I didn't like 29.
I just funded it.
29 was ugly.
Oh, it's just a calculator, yeah. 29 sucks.
I wouldn't know what to do though.
Can you still do it?
Okay,
Just to see if I
29 is just saying, which angle has a tangent of negative 5?
I did this like
And you get the tangent.
That's
by-
not going to happen on the unit circle.
I got
Yeah, 'cause it's by
78.69
one.
degrees.
Well,
That's the other
tangent's
one. I
y
got
over
the
x.
one
Negative.
point seven.
there's no combination of these that you can divide, and you're not going to get a 5.
So
Well,
they can make us do it.
so it's just a calculator. Type it in. write the answer. So you write inverse tangent of -5. Hey, it's -1.37. I must be in radians. I am. So it's -1.37 radians. Switch to degrees, and it'll tell you your answer in degrees. -78.7 degrees.
How do you switch it to degrees?
Gotta push mode, and then select which one there.
So then you would just go from degrees to radians by 180 over pi.
Well, you could, you're gonna get that. If you multiply that by 180 over pi, you're gonna get that.
So how do you
These
get
are the
it,
same thing.
how do you get it into pi form?
You don't need it.
It just said in oh, you don't have to put it in.
You don't have to
put
pi.
radians. Okay.
But like, if you had.
You don't have to say pi radians, you can say 3.1415926 radians.
That's
It
redundant.
doesn't have to have a pi there.
So how do you decipher what it is if you're just writing numbers?
You know which mode your calculator's in.
No, like if I were to write my answer, I'm gonna put degrees or put.
Oh, yeah,
radians
you're gonna
by-
put a little degree sign if it's degrees, you're gonna put nothing if it's radians.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna leave one on the list. 30, who cares? Okay, 31. Solve the equation. The tangent of x equals 2.5 when x is between 0 and 2. So they're restricting the domain here. Alondra, you can solve that. Think geometry. How are you going to solve that?
Opposite over hypotenuse. is 10.
Already done. It's 2.5. Opposite divided by adjacent would be 2. You're going to what, Jeanette? Divide by the tangent. of-
No, negative tangent.
Inverse tangent.
If that's what I
Inverse
meant.
tangent.
Inverse tangent.
Yeah.
X will equal the inverse tangent. 2.5. Boom. Type it in your calculator. You're done.
What?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Why are we so?
Where were you yesterday when I needed you?
Wait, what we wanted in again? I don't like this whole changing it to radians.
It just says solve the equation. It doesn't say radians or degrees. I'm assuming since they wrote it like that, that x has to be between 0 and 2 pi, that you're going to write your answer in radians. So we're going to know the inverse tangent of 2.5, 1.19 radians. That's it.
That was freaking easy.
That was. And they're all the same. Ah, except 32. The only thing that changes is the interval. It says the cosine of x equals negative 0.7 between 2 pi and 4 pi.
So you have x equals the inverse sine.
So your answer has to be between 2 pi and 4 pi. Your calculator will not give you this answer. So now we gotta think.
Why?
You'll see. If I just solve this, first of all, solve it, see what you get. Get your normal answer.
Is it negative 7?
So x will equal the inverse cosine.
2.34 radians.
Negative 0.7. What do you get?
2.34 radians.
I bet I don't trust you. 2.346 or 2.35 radians. Is that between 2 pi and 4 pi?
No.
2 pi is like 6, 4 pi is like 12, right?
Yeah.
2 times pi is 6 points something, right? So my answer is not between there. How can I get another? So, but if I do the cosine of this, I will get negative 0.7.
Do it all the way around and,
Yeah, you got to go around the circle again.
because the circle's only 2 pi. So if you add 2 pi to that,
Just
it'll be between
add 2 pi to that, and it'll put you in that
Wow.
domain. One person.
Add
gets it.
2
All right.
pi where?
Quiet.
Wait, time out. How do
No,
you add,
no time out.
Yeah, that's my question.
how do you add 2 pi? Just 2
I
pi
will.
plus that?
Just watch.
What's 2 pi?
2.35 radians. Come onto here and you're like, that's not on there. Well, no crap, it's not. But think, pi is 3.14 radians, right? We're just write it as pi. So 2.35 is somewhere over here, right? My angle? But that's between 0 and 2 pi. I want it between 2 pi and 4 pi. So instead of this angle right here, I just got to go around the circle again to get to that same spot again. Remember we talked about that on Friday, how if you go around the circle again, you'll have the same cosines, sines, tangents. All the trigonometric functions will be the same.
Wait, the whole
For the
circumference is 2 pi.
different angle. You just go around again, right? Yeah. Everyone who was here Friday understand that idea? So, if I have 2.35 radians, if I want it between here, I just have to add 2 pi to that.
Wait.
And I literally just do that plus 2 pi. It's 8.63. Don't let the pi's confuse you. Pi is just 3.14.
Wait, question. How did you know that the 2.3 was like over there, that area?
Because pi is 3.14. Pi over 2 is 3.14 divided by 2, so 1.6-ish. So this is like 1.6 radians, and this is like 3.1 radians.
Oh, so you're just going
2.3
back
is
a little bit,
somewhere
okay.
in the middle there. Make sense?
Mhm.
You could write right here, you could write 3.14 radians. You don't have to write pi. You just do because that's the exact answer. So I knew 2.3 was somewhere in
So
there.
pi would be 3, you said pi is 3.14 radians?
Mhm.
Okay.
If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, that's okay. This is a lot of stuff in 50 minutes.
So how would you do 33? If it's
33, oh,
Oh,
cosecant.
yeah.
I'll do 33, 34 through 36 are on.
Wouldn't you just get your answer and then flip it? No.
Cosecant of x equals 2 between 0 and 2. When they do between 0 and 2 pi, or
It's just 360 degrees.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, that's the answer your calculator gives you, it's going
It's
to be,
the actual answer.
yeah. Your calculator works like this. Cosecant of x equals 2, there is no inverse cosecant button. So
You just
So can you just do,
cosine, or no, sine,
flip it?
yeah,
or sine?
And then it's sine.
Yeah. Cosecant is 1 over the sine. So 1 over the sine of x equals 2.
So what do you do, sine and then flip it?
Multiply by sine.
So you could do it mathematically legit, or you could just flip both sides. The sine of x will be 1/2.
I like that one.
So you inverse it by putting
Now you
one
do the
over
inverse
top.
sine of 1/2, which you should be able to do in your head,
No.
or you will be able to do in your head. It's very simple.
I'm like,
It's
what?
pi over
It's-
6. We
it's
did it
30
earlier today.
degrees.
Yeah, it's 30 degrees, remember?
Yes.
I got 0.52, I think I'm in radians.
Probably. Pi over 6 is plenty. Yeah.
Maybe.
There's actually 2 answers. Your calculator will only give you one, but if you're awesome, you come up with 5 pi over 6 also.
Okay, wait, do it again.
That's when you add two pi to it, right?
No,
No, because it's between.
it's just this one right here. I just use my unit circle instead of my calculator.
Question.
You could just done the calculator, done inverse sine of 1/2, and you'll get some decimal. Inverse sine of 1/2. 0.524. That's an acceptable
Yeah,
answer.
but you're considering-
That's what I got, but. I have to get up these-
I got that by
So if you have that, how do you say it again?
cosecant.
Yeah, okay, so if you have that, you just do the inverse sine after you flip the,
Cosecant means 1 over the sine.
so you would just put 1 over whatever the answer is and then do the inverse sine?
Yeah. I told you, mathematically speaking, you should actually think it out. And go, oh, multiply both sides by sine of x. Those cancel, so 1 equals 2 times the sine of x, and then divide by 2. So sine of x is 1/2, which is just a long way of saying flip both sides.
Shortcuts. 36. Or 34 2 hours before. Do that.
So do this. And 37 and 38.
We did
Taking one step
37
back
on,
before we take one step. Okay. I know what I'm doing.
So it takes 12 minutes.
28, no, it's
That's 11.
7.
I was at 7.